This is the answer key to the February 16th accelerated classwork on Module 8. The Lopez family went out to eat at Red Robin and their dinner bill was $85.20. The waiter was great, so the family decided to give the waiter a 20% tip. How much tip did the waiter receive? Use the percent model. Since the whole bill is $85.20, I have it out of 85.20. And how much is 10% of 85.20? Move that decimal one to the left. So 10% would be $8.52. And since the family decided to give a 20% tip, I shaded two boxes. That's 8.52 times 2, which means $17.04 tip was given. The Moore family went out to eat at Applebee's and their service was only mediocre, which means it was okay. So the family decided to leave a 15% tip. Normally, when the service is not so great, families tend to choose either between 10 to 15%. So if the meal totaled $73, what was the total bill including tip? Use the percent model. So now this dinner equaled $73 and 10% would be 7.3. Now, since they decided to leave a 15% tip, I shaded the first box, which represents 10%, $7.30. 15% means I had to cut the next 7.3 in half. So you have to divide 7.3 divided by 2, you get $3.65. So to figure out the 15% tip, you would add 7.3 plus 3.65. That would mean that the tip that they're leaving is $10.95. Now the question's asking what's the total bill including tip. So we added the meal plus the tip, and there was $83.95. Druvy had received a box of chocolates with 15 pieces of chocolates inside. She ate 6 pieces. What percent of the chocolates were not eaten? Use the percent model or use another method. So if the whole thing's out of 15, that means each 10% is 1.5. Now I need to figure out how many 1.5s will make 6. And I notice 1.5 plus 1.5 makes 3. So that would mean 1.5 times 4 makes 6. So I shaded 40% eaten, but the question's asking what percent were not eaten. So if 40% were eaten, that means 60% was not eaten. Now, another way you could have solved this without percent model, if she ate 6 out of 15, but they're asking what percentage were not eaten, you could think about what ratio was not eaten. So that'll be 9 out of 15. And then you can always simplify 9 over 15 to 3/5, which is 60%. So just another way to solve this. There are 40 Skittles in every bag and 18 of them were lemon flavored. What percentage of the bag were not lemon flavored Skittles? So the whole thing is out of 40. Each section, 10% is 4. 18 were lemon. So I figured 45%, because in order to get 18, that's 4 times 4, 16 plus 2. So half of the next. So that's 45% were lemon. That means 55% were not lemon. And again, you can always change. You can do 18 over 40, figure that out as a percent, and also figure out how many were not lemon flavored. On the trip, 48 students brought lunch, which is 20% of the students on the trip. How many students went on the trip? So the question's asking for the total students that went on the trip. So to figure this out, I shaded 20% and it says 48 students, which represents 20% brought lunch. So this equals 48 students out of 2 boxes. So 48 divided by 2 is 24. That means that every 10% is 24. And then if you multiply 24 times 10, that means that there were a total of 240 students on the trip. Brand was working on a test and completed 60% of it so far. If he completed 27 questions so far, how many problems is on the test? So 60% shaded, that represents 27 problems. So I divided 27 by 6 and I get 4.5. That means each 10% is 4.5. That means that the whole test was out of 45 problems. And again, you could always solve this by using proportion, like 60 over 100 equals 27 over, and then a variable. Match the fractions with its decimal percent equivalent. So if you take a look, I would first figure out the percent. 1/2 is 50%. So I'm going to find 50%. Now to make that into a decimal, get rid of the percent, move the decimal twice to the left because you're dividing it by 100. So 0.50 or 0.5. 1/4 is 25. And the percent equivalent is, move the decimal twice to the left, 0.25. 3/4 is 75%, which is 0.75. 3/5 comes from 1/5. 1/5 is 20%. So 3/5 is 60%. So 0.60 or 0.6. And 5/8, remember 1/8 is half of 1/4. If we know that 1/4 is 25%, 1/8 is 12.5%. Now to figure this out, 4/8 plus 1/8 is 5/8. 4/8 is a half, which is 50. 1/8 is 12.5. So that would equal 62.5%, which is 0.625. And that's it. And these are the 4 that are not used. Stephen Curry made 92% of the shots from the free throw line. If he made 368 shots, how many shots did he attempt? So I actually set up a proportion with this one. Since Stephen Curry made 92 out of 100, I wrote 92 over 100. He made 368, which represents the part on top. What I don't know is how many shots were attempted. That goes on the bottom. And I was able to actually figure it out with the original proportion or fraction. 92 times 4 makes 368. So 100 times 4 is 400. And again, if I wasn't able to figure out 92 times what, then you could try to simplify 92 over 100 and see if that will help you. Devante says his bank account has increased by 135% in the last year. Sophia says that's not correct. Who is correct? Explain your reasoning. Use the table below to support your answer. So to figure this out, I wanted to figure out what's 135% of the original bank balance. So I had to change 135% to decimal, get rid of the percent, move the decimal twice to the left because percent means out of 100, which means you're dividing by 100. So that becomes 1.35. Of in math means to multiply. 956. When I multiply that, it equals 1,290.6. $1,290.60 is how much the account increased by. So then what I did is I took the amount it increased by plus last year's bank account or the 2019 bank account. When I added it up, it did equal the December 2020 balance. So Devante was right. The account did increase by 135%. Now, a faster way of figuring this out without, let's say they're asking for the final balance. If they were asking for how much did the account increase by, then you can use the original method I did here. But a faster way, so what I want you to think about is this. So I multiplied 956 with 135%, and then what I did is I added the 956. So what percent is 956 of 956? It's 100%. So what I did is after I multiplied 956 by 135%, I added another 956 to see if that equals the final balance. So a faster way to calculate this would be to add 100% to this. What's 100% plus 135? 235. So if you actually multiply 2.35 times 956, you could try this out. 2.35 times 956 would actually equal the total balance. So you could do the step that I did originally, which is multiply 1.35 times 956 to get the amount increased, then add 956 back on. Or you could just do it in one step. If you know you need to know the final balance and you know you're going to add the whole amount on, so add another 100% of the 956. 235% times 956 would equal $2,246.60. And if you look at my answer, I did say that Devonta is correct. If a PlayStation was bought for $450 after a 10% discount, what was the original price of the PlayStation? Use any method. I actually use the percent model, but you don't have to use it. I shaded 10%, that's the discount. But they told us what it was bought for. That's the sale price. That means that the sale price was 90%. So when the PlayStation was bought for $450, that was the sale price after the 10% discount. So that's $450 in 9 boxes. 450 divided by 9 is 50. That means each box is 50, represents 50. So this over here equals 50 also. So what's the original price? $500. Actually, let me change that to maybe the blue. Just so we can look at color. So that section also represents 50, but I'm going to write in green the final answer. The original price of the PlayStation is $500. Armand works at a luggage store and makes commission on all of his sales. On luggage, he makes 2%. On all accessories, he makes 4%. Last month, Armand sold 1,245 in luggage and another 458 in accessories. How much commission did Armand make last month? Now, because Armand makes different, like each, like luggage is 2%, accessories 4%. Since they're different percentages, you can't combine the luggage amount and accessories. So what I had to do is figure out how much commission Armand made just off of luggage alone. So if Armand makes 2% of 1,245, what that means is 2 out of 100 means for every $100, Armand would receive $2 in commission. Okay, so I multiply 2% as a decimal. 0.02 times 1,245, that's $24.90. That's the commission made on luggage. Now, accessories is 4% out of $458, so 0.04 times 458, that's $18.32 on accessories. To figure how much Armand made, we have to add it up. And the answer is Armand made let's see what it said here. Oh. So I guess it disappeared. So what you have to do is you have to add that up. So $24.90 plus $18.32 equals $43 and 22 cents on commission. And you have to make sure you explain that you add the two amounts. What is the fraction and percent equivalent of 1.24? 1.24 is really 1 and 24 hundredths, which equals 124 over 100. And then the percent equivalent is 124%, and that's it. Feel free to go back and try any of these questions again.